Well, the English Premier League matches will be starting in August, and we know that the first week we've got some exciting fixtures to look out for. Yes, match week 1 in the English Premier League will be exciting. God bless, give me that picture of match week 1 and the action. Well, for match week 1, we know that there's some tough games coming in. Liverpool are starting the 2025-26 season against Bournemouth. It's on Friday at exactly 8 p.m. That is the first match for the next season. And then we will have Aston Villa against Newcastle on Saturday. Brighton against Fulham, as well as Nottingham Forest playing against Brentford. It will then continue with Sunderland in action against West Ham. Tottenham Hotspur against Burnley. Wolverhampton Wanderers will face Manchester City. And then on Sunday, Chelsea play Crystal Palace. Manchester United lock horns with Arsenal. And then Leeds United will host Everton. That is for the first week. Now, because of this, Manchester United are the team being talked about the most. Here from Michael Owen, a former player of Manchester United, he touched on the season expectations, and then he says these aren't 9 signs of excitement for Manchester United fans because they are playing their first game against Arsenal, a team that finished second and looked to be finding their feet more in the last 4 seasons. So for him, it is going to be a difficult one.
There aren't really many shoots, any signs of excitement. I think if you're a Manchester United fan, you're probably going into the season thinking, right, what's going to change? You know, same manager, same players, same, you know, that it's very, very difficult to get enthused by their team at the moment, and, you know, where they're going to find their improvement from. You know, they can't do any worse than last season, surely, but we've been saying that for 15 years or something now, and, you know, and everybody scratches their heads. Every person walks up to you and says, what's the matter with Manchester United? Everyone, even, you know, if it was that simple, then all the managers, all the great managers they've had over time would be, you know, would have found that answer. So there's probably more deep-rooted problems that need solving before we're going to see any improvement on the pitch, I think.
They have it from none other but Michael Owen, former player for Liverpool as well as for Manchester United. Well, away from that, from the top 6 teams that are going to be playing in the competition, we know that Tottenham Hotspur are involved. They will want to win a title this season after sacking Ange Postecoglou, their head coach. Now, chairman of the club is Daniel Levy. He spoke after the sacking of Ange Postecoglou. Now they have a new coach and his name is Thomas Frank. For Tottenham Hotspur, they want to win titles. They want to win the English Premier League and also want to continue with that of the UEFA Champions League. That is the reason why they felt that it was not enough. They need to let this guy go. They sacked him. You are coach of Europa League. Before him, you have not had a coach that has won anything. Jose Mourinho got into the final. You sacked him. Here from Daniel Levy, head coach, Spurs chairman, as he spoke about the sacking of Ange Postecoglou and a new change that they had at the club.
Compete in all competitions, and we felt that we needed to change. You know, I've got an excellent relationship with him. I told him you're always going to be part of our history. Himself and his family always welcome back. It was a collective decision. It wasn't my decision. We do everything together. Emotionally, it was difficult, but we believe we've made the right decision for the club. I'm very grateful to Ange. You know, I don't regret appointing Ange. You know, in his first season we finished 5th, and in our second season we were over the moon to win a trophy. And you saw the outpouring of emotion with the parade. You know, it was just incredible. We've won a European trophy. It's not enough. It's what we haven't done that is more important. We need to win the league. We want to win the Premier League. We want to win the Champions League. But, you know, we want to win.
They want to win. That is from Daniel Levy. Well, we are still staying with this topic on Tottenham Hotspur before I get on the phone lines and talk to my guys, my usual pundits, top journalist in Kumasi, of course. Well, Daniel Levy also talked about the fact that they decided to go in for Thomas Frank of Brentford. He was joined by Chief Executive Vinay Venkatesham. Edini Odeon. Vinay Venkatesham. Once they say I mean him now, get on Facebook. Let's do this. Yes. Like I said, get on X as well and drop your comments. On Facebook, I've got some comments here. Our Lobby Try says, keep up the good work. Okay, many thanks to you. Nelson Gatti says, I'm watching you live from Nelson's Air Condition Company at Amasaman Akramaman. Okay. Well, Vinay Venkateshan and then his chairman, Daniel Levy, also spoke about the fact that they decided to go in for Thomas Frank. For them, it was a good decision and they feel he's an outstanding developer of young players.
a new coach is always a fresh start. Always have different ideas. But, we want to build on the success of winning a trophy last season. I mean, one of the things that stood out to me with Thomas, clearly highly intelligent, great communicator, superhuman being, plus all the other technical aspects that are obviously important. But, they really stood out to me, those 2 points.
So we ran a really, really thorough process at Speed. We defined 10 characteristics that we think are important to be a successful manager at Tottenham Hotspur. We analysed in real detail, through our technical staff led by Johan, more than 30 candidates. We had a shortlist. We spent a lot of time with the shortlist, and Thomas was absolutely the number one candidate. He is an outstanding developer of young players. So I really look forward to seeing what he can do with the squad that we have here.
There you have it. From Vinay Venkatesham, chairman or chief executive of Tottenham Hotspur, and his chairman in Daniel Levy. Well, we will move on from. He says they chose from 30 candidates and they settled on Thomas Frank. More the packaging them we had. But well, we are getting into other stories right here on Y102 FM. I've already told you that we have the EPL fixtures on our Facebook, on our Twitter. Get on Twitter right now and then let's run through the stories. But for week 1, I've already told you about week 1. God bless me to give the video of the Premier League showing week 1 and then week 2 fixtures as I run through some of the matches for the big sides. Well, first of all, I've got Liverpool, who won the league title. In their first 2 months of the league, they are playing against Bournemouth, Newcastle United, as well as Arsenal. Then in September, they will play Burnley, Everton, and then Crystal Palace. They will then move on to other matches. But well, the second place team in the league was Arsenal. Manchester United is their first game. They play Leeds United in the second game, and then Liverpool in the third game. That is for Arsenal. Manchester City will play Wolverhampton Wanderers, Tottenham Hotspur, and then Brighton on August. And then in September, they will play Manchester United, Arsenal, and then Burnley. For Chelsea, it is Crystal Palace, West Ham United, and then Fulham. And then in September, they play Brentford, Manchester United, and then Brighton and Hove Albion. For Tottenham Hotspur, they play Burnley, Manchester City, and then Bournemouth. And then they will face West Ham United, Brighton, and then Wolverhampton Wanderers. Well, in November, we will have other games, but well, we are focused on the first 2 months and as well as October. Manchester United, before I get on the phone lines with Nana Kwesiba 4, works with Ebusuan FM and then also a writer on the portals. Well, August, Manchester United play Arsenal, Fulham, and then Burnley. And then in September, we have Manchester City, Chelsea, and then Brentford. But for good afternoon, I believe you are fine. Madiba could not join us on the phone line. But well, let's get into the stories. Let's get into the fixtures. Now, the first question most people will be asking is that if you look at how things have panned out last season and then we have a new season, then there's much more to expect this season.
Ivan, first of all, let me greet your listeners and let me say I really love your haircut. It's very nice. Charlie. I go barber my hair. All of you started talk. So as I know barber my hair last 2 weeks and then last month, one can answer. Oh, no. The program is live on Facebook. So
yeah, exactly.
More clear.
We've got some 7 more minutes to end the show.
All right, so Ivan, for me, I think that officially the Premier League fixtures is officially out, and now all the 20 clubs know their match pathway and the games they'll be playing in their respective 12 months. In their respective 12 months.
Yeah.
So, for me, looking at the top 4 within the first 2 months, that's I guess in September.
Yeah.
I feel that there wouldn't be too much changes.
Okay.
Based on if you are looking at consistency factor, because last season when you look at the top 4, we had Liverpool winning the Premier League, with us now placing second, and then we had Chelsea, and then there was Newcastle all in the top 4 in that manner. But for me, I feel that if you are acting me within the first 2 months, the team that have very tough fixtures to play will certainly be Arsenal.
Okay.
Because they have Manchester United in match day 1. They'll play Liverpool in match day 3. And then they take on Manchester City in match day 5.
Exactly.
Before that, they'll play Nottingham Forest, who are a very stubborn side, in match day 4. So looking at the fixtures of the other teams, it looks like Arsenal have a very tough situation for themselves. But due to the consistent nature of how they've been in the last 3 seasons in the Premier League, for me, I think that they might be able to cut off. When you look at Manchester City coming from a struggling season in 2025, and when you look at the kind of transfers and boosts they've added to their team, I think that they might be righting their wrongs. For them, Wolves, Tottenham Hotspur, Brighton, United and Arsenal, they also have very tough fixtures. Yeah. Based on their record they had this particular season, but I feel that maybe with the new boost, maybe Manchester City can rewrite the wrongs.
By now, Pep is definitely smiling and then looking at the Premier League and saying that unfortunately I didn't catch me.
well, but I think that we'll leave to see in the month of August and then September. But Ivan, if you ask me of my top 4 after the first 2 months, Liverpool on top of the league because of how they've been consistent, and they've also boosted up their squad as well. Yeah. So I'll put them at the first position, with Arsenal at the second, with Manchester City at the third, because of how they were inconsistent in the just ended season. And then I'll put Chelsea at the 4th position. So for me, but maybe for Arsenal and Manchester City, one of them might exchange their positions due to the fact that Manchester City has a game against Arsenal on match day 5, and that will be the ending of August when the two guys meet in the Premier League.
Okay, now quick one on Manchester United. This season ends on Faon based on the first matches, and then the fact that if you look at the transfer window, I know everything is possible in football, but
yeah, sure. Things can turn around within a split of a second, but for me, I feel that the concentration will majority based on the transfers Manchester United will do. Because aside getting strikers in the Manchester United team, they need to improve major parts of their team. Yeah. Like their defensive unit, their midfield unit, they need a lot of even especially in their goalkeeping unit, they need somebody to come up and give competition to Andre Onana, because the kind of mistakes and goals that they conceded this particular season, I feel that they need to also improve that position as well. They have a lot of work to do, but as I said, from now to August, the very long period that they can use to do all those things. But if you are asking me, I still see but maybe you can see a better Manchester United.
Surely, let's see what happens when the season starts in August. Many thanks to you, Nana Kwesiba, for joining us on the phone lines, as we usually do. We do this on Sundays, and then Monday to Friday we discuss just trending stories as well. On Facebook, I've got some comments in here. Emmanuel Jan says, keep on dreaming at the theater of nightmare. It is for Manchester United fans though. Well, Nana Kwesi Andrew says, Manchester United will win the Premier League. Fala Mate. Hey. Watching live at Al Hayya Park or Al Ain, Manchester United will get 1 point in the first 5 matches, while Liverpool will get 15 out of the 5. Emmanuel Jan Mate. Delphin Date says, we're going to sail through. And he also says, Arsenal is coming back stronger. Okay. Well, on X, more comments on our pinned tweets concerning the matches that are going to be played. Carlos Kabiru Angara Boy says Chelsea is winning the Premier League, and then Mr. Nice guy is also going for Chelsea. Asokwa Kelvin Boy says Manchester United will win the league. Now, final story before I leave the studio, because I've got 30 seconds. The woman said, yesterday I told you that the Nigerian boxer who was in Ghana had his bout at the Bukum Boxing Arena, who lost his life there. His name is Oluwasegun Olanrewaju. That is the name. The boxer was airlifted from Ghana to Nigeria. He arrived yesterday. Check out our Facebook and then have a feel of what happened when he arrived in Nigeria. When the body arrived in Nigeria, why am I saying he? Charlie, the person is dead. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Get on our Facebook and have a feel of that video as well. On our show, Oluwasegun Olanrewaju, who lost his life in March but had to be airlifted to Nigeria after about 3 months, because we are in June now. That was what happened on our Facebook. Abranti ni wu no. Afina the body net me akodu Nigeria. Challenge easy. May his soul rest in perfect peace.